today's verse. Genesis 19:24-26. Then the Lord rained on Sodom and on Gomorrah sulfur and fire from the Lord out of heaven, and he overthrew those cities, all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities, and brought an end to the cities. But Lot's wife, looking back from behind him, became a pillar of salt. Likewise, my son, when you enter the city, do not turn back, do not look back with longing. For wherever you turn back, your life will be there. Genesis 19:24-26, New King James Version. In today's episode, we are going to see how close were the people of Sodom and Gomorrah to escape destruction. What did they miss? And why did Lot's wife fail to obey her husband and the angels? What can we learn from this in our life? And remember, we're looking at the Bible through the lens of a minimalist. When we look at the Bible, we want to get the big picture. We want to understand the main ideas that we need to know, and then we want to simplify it down. What can we actually do with this information today? How can we apply this to our lives? So first, we have to ask ourselves, who are the people of Sodom and Gomorrah? Who are these mysterious people that we hear about? Because it's hard for us to picture today, but people back then were not like us. They weren't good people. They were evil people. They were deeply wicked. They did a lot of bad things. And actually, God says, the outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is great. Their sin is very grievous. Notice what happens next. When the angels arrived to Lot's house, what do they say? They said, "Are you really Lot?" Then he said, "I am. Please, my lords, turn aside, I beg you, to your servant's house." So they turned aside to his house, and he made them a feast. But before they had gone to bed, the men of the city, the Sodomites, surrounded the house, young men and old, all the inhabitants of the city. And they cried out and said to one another, "Where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us, that we may have relations with them." So these people, they were very vile, they were very sexually immoral, they were evil people, they were sick people, they were broken people. Now, imagine you're Lot. Imagine you're in this situation. So Lot goes out to try to fend them off, and he says, "My brothers, please do not do this wicked thing, for the men are my guests, and it is a universal custom wherever I dwell, to entertain those who come to me under the protection of my roof. Now therefore, if you deal harm against these men, then there shall be peace between you and me." But the men of Sodom, they were so evil, so sick, so wicked. They just wanted to destroy Lot's house, and they wanted to destroy the strangers that were within. So this isn't just a normal city. This is a city full of the most wicked people, the most vile people, the most immoral people. So imagine being Lot in this situation. But now we got to ask ourselves, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen to these people? Well, the answer comes when we read, "The Lord rained on Sodom and on Gomorrah sulfur and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he overturned those cities, all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities, and brought an end to the cities." So God destroys these cities. There's no doubt about it. These cities are doomed. There's no hope for them. Now, I think it's really important for us to mention that yes, these cities are wicked and vile, but Abraham prayed for these people. Abraham tried to intercede on behalf of these people. And even when God was willing to spare the cities for the sake of 50, then 45, then 30, then 20, then even 10, he still tried to plead for these people. So what does this teach us? It teaches us that God is merciful. God is gracious. He doesn't want to destroy anybody. He doesn't want anybody to go to hell. But unfortunately, the people of Sodom and Gomorrah, their hearts were hardened. They didn't care about God. They didn't care about other people. They didn't care about Lot. They didn't care about their own family members. They were so engrossed in their own life and what they wanted that they didn't care about the consequences. And now we got to ask ourselves, what were the consequences? What happened because of their actions? So Lot and his daughters, they decided to flee. And when they fled, Lot says, "Look, let's go to Zoar. Let's go to this other city over here." But the angels say, "No, you need to go into the mountains. If you don't, you'll be destroyed." So once they got to the mountains, they said, "Escape for your life. Do not look back. Do not stop anywhere in the plain. Escape to the mountains." Now, what does Lot do? He looks back. Why does he look back? I believe he looked back because he was hoping, maybe, just maybe, if he looked back, everything might be okay. Maybe God would change his mind. Maybe God wouldn't destroy the cities. Maybe he could salvage something. But God says, don't look back. And the minute he looked back, Lot's wife became a pillar of salt. And sometimes I wonder in my life, how many times do I look back? How many times do I wish I could go back to the past? How many times do I wish I could fix the past? How many times do I wish I could save the past? But the truth is, I can't change the past. All I can do is change now. All I can do is accept what has happened and move forward. One of my favorite quotes from a movie is from the movie Shawshank Redemption. One of the main characters read, "He's been in prison for years. And he's writing letters to different people saying, 'I'm sorry for this, I'm sorry for that.' And one day, Andy Dufresne, another character, tells him, 'Hey, stop writing those letters.' And Reed asks why. 'We can't change the past. What difference does it make?' And Andy tells him, 'It doesn't change the past, but it might change you.' So what's the point of looking back? What's the point of wishing we could go back to the past? What's the point of regretting the past? Yes, the past might cause us pain. Yes, the past might hold some regrets, but we can't change it. All we can do is accept it and move forward. And the moment Lot looked back, he was cursed. He lost his wife forever. He lost her to become a pillar of salt. And yes, the past might hurt, but the longer we hold onto the past, the longer we look back, the longer we'll suffer. You know, I believe a Lot could have prevented this tragedy. A Lot could have saved himself and his family, except for his decision to look back. And I wonder in my life, how many decisions have I made that caused a lot of problems later on in my life? How many wrong decisions did I make earlier on that ended up causing me stress, anxiety, depression, trouble in my marriage, trouble with my children, trouble with my job, trouble with my finances, trouble with my health? The list goes on and on and on. But the reality is this: we can't change the past. All we can do is accept the past and move forward. So my prayer for you and for myself is this: that we won't be like Lot's wife, that we won't look back, that we won't regret the past, that we won't live in the past, but we'll accept the past and we'll move forward. Thank you guys for joining me today for this study. I hope this blessed you. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please share this with a friend. If you have a comment, a question, or a Bible verse you'd like to share, please drop it below. And until next time, remember, God loves you. I love you, and I'll see you soon.